Hey friends, I wanted to come to you all because I listen to probably, I don't know, 15 to 20 podcasts every week. I'm a podcast nerd, I'll be honest. But one that I listened to this week that really struck me was called, the episode was titled Comfort Zone, and it was a TED Radio Hour. And the very first section was the section that I want to share with you all today because it has really gotten my wheels turning. And I just thought, I just keep coming back to it and keep coming back to it. And I just thought, man, someone else could benefit from this. I'm sure of it. So I kind of wanted to summarize and share with you what I learned in that. And hopefully you can take something away from it as well. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to go into great detail. So you can go find the TED Radio Hour and listen to the full episode. It's called Comfort Zone. But I just wanted to give an overview of the part that kind of got my wheels turning. And actually, the very first thing was a quote that he shared that says, "We suffer more in imagination than reality." And I was like, oh, that is so true. How many times have I worked myself up over about every possible scenario and thought about every possible outcome, and it has just paralyzed me from even taking action. And so what was shared was this little activity that I'm going to show you all. So if you want to do it along with me, you'll need 3 sheets of paper and a pen. But you can always come back. I'll leave the replay up so you can always come back and watch the full thing. But on the first sheet of paper, vertically, you're going to do 3 columns. And I've got examples here so you can see what they're going to look like. So the first column says define, the second column says prevent, and the third column says repair. So in the very first column, just in bullet points, you're going to think about a fear that you have. Maybe it's a fear of leaving your job. Maybe it's a fear of flying. Maybe it's a fear of, leaving a situation that's not good for you. Maybe it's a fear of doing something that could be really great for you. But whatever that fear is, in the define column, I want you to bullet point all the things what's the worst thing that could happen. The worst thing that could happen. Then in that second column, the prevent column, parallel to every item that you listed under the worst case scenario, write what you can do to prevent that worst case scenario from happening. Okay, so that's the second column. Then the third column, the repair column, is again parallel to every worst case scenario and prevention that you've created. One way that you can repair whatever that outcome is if it happens. So if that worst case scenario happens, how can you repair that worst case scenario? Okay, so that's the first page. The second page, benefits. And you see it's a full page because this can be bullet points, this can be free written, this can be paragraph, but on this page, it's the benefits of an attempt or even a partial success. And this got me thinking about, I love that he suggested even a partial success or an attempt. Like, not if everything works out perfectly the way that we imagine that it's going to work out, because that never happens, right? I think about this quote that was around one of my actually multiple of my elementary teachers had this posted in their room, but it says, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. That's a pretty good outcome. And so that's what I thought of when he said, even an attempt or a partial success. So that's page 2. Then page 3 is another full page, and this is actually my absolute favorite step. This was the one that in all of my analysis on my own without having any direction, I was not doing. I was looking at the benefits. I was looking at worst case scenarios. I was looking at, well, how can I prevent those? Those are things I was generally naturally doing to a certain extent on my own, but this was the part that took it to a whole nother level. And this is a full page, so again, you can do bullet points or paragraphs, but the third page is cost of inaction. Cost of inaction. So if you do not take action on this, what will your life look like in a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years? What will happen if you don't take action? Will you be in the exact same place that you're in right now? And if that is a yes, are you okay with that? Will you be in a worse off case than you're in right now? And are you okay with that? Will you be in a better place if you don't take action? And will you be okay with that? But really analyzing, if I don't take action on this, what could happen? What's the cost of not taking inaction? And now he wrapped it up saying, now at least a handful of your fears are well-founded, but you shouldn't assume that to be the case until you put your fears under a microscope. And that's what really launched me to share with you all, because I just think that so many of us probably are in the same situation that I find myself in at times, of letting my fears paralyze me without actually giving them attention. I feel the fear creeping in and I automatically just like brush it out and push it down and ignore it. But when I really sit down and analyze that fear and put it under a microscope, what I find is that a lot of it is emotional. And when I take a logical approach to it, there really isn't a whole lot of risk associated with taking action on it. And actually, what I found is that when I take action on my fears, that is where the most personal growth happens, which is super, super exciting. So anyway, I hope that that was helpful for you all. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments just on the information. If you decide to do the activity yourself, I'd love for you to share the results. But yeah, let me know what you all think, and have an awesome day.